Combs has been no stranger to controversy, especially as of late, having had several sexual assault allegations lodged against him in recent months. Late last year, Combs made headlines when performer Cassie Ventura filed a bombshell complaint against Combs, accusing him of some seriously heinous stuff. I'm including sex trafficking, rape, forcing her to take drugs, beating her, forcing to have sex with male prostitutes, as he recorded. The list goes on and on and on. And while that case actually settled out of court, there were several more individuals who came forward accusing Combs of similar acts. This includes two women who allege that Combs assaulted them in the early 90s, an unnamed Jane Doe who is alleging that Combs, along with his friends, raped her when she was 17 years old. And then you have a male recently filing a lawsuit claiming unwanted sexual harassment from Combs. But his team is fighting back, recently filing that this unnamed woman must reveal her identity before the case can proceed. The woman will remain anonymous until the judge rules on that motion. Now, Diddy and his legal team additionally continue to deny all other claims against him, but this is big. Joining me right now is Tracy Walder. She is a former FBI special agent, former CIA agent, NewsNation national security contributor, and I'm also joined by Misty Marris, trial attorney and legal analyst who's been following the case. Great to have you both here. Tracy, this is huge, right?
Well, it's good to see you, Jesse. Yes, it is huge in that really this isn't the start of an investigation. This is, I don't want to say the end of the investigation because clearly he's innocent until proven guilty, but this is a point at which there is more than enough to now bring in the federal authorities. So really this group that came in to conduct this investigation is HSI. So they're part of the Department of Homeland Security, and they are the investigative arm. So they're investigating really transnational crime, transnational syndicates, as well as sex trafficking. And it's my guess that that is why they were involved in this.
Okay, so Misty, let me turn it to you. This was a warrant from the Southern District of New York. I want to pull up number 2 if we can. This is a source familiar with the situation told NBC that 3 women and 1 man have been interviewed in New York by federal authorities in connection to a probe involving sex trafficking, sexual assault, solicitation and distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms related to Combs, who's also known as Diddy, Puff Daddy, and P. Diddy. Now, I've read those prior lawsuits. A lot of that is very consistent. What are you taking away from what they're doing here?
Yeah, this is obviously looking into federal crimes. And this is an investigation that has definitely been put together meticulously, coordinated efforts in 2 different states coming out of the Southern District of New York. So this says that there's more, Jesse, than what we've read in civil complaints. That's not going to be enough for probable cause to go in, get a warrant, and conduct a raid. There's going to be those witness interviews, but my guess would be there's more than just that.
Tracy, I have to imagine this was not just they announced a raid or did a raid on a nice sunny day in both Miami and Los Angeles. The timing of this matters. Do you think it was they wanted to make sure, and by the way, we don't know if Combs is in custody or not, if he's not in the country or what. Why do you think they chose right now? What do you think they're looking for in the House right now?
So typically at the FBI, when we would do these simultaneous raids conducted at really exactly the same time, was because we don't want evidence destroyed. We don't want people being tipped off. And it's my opinion, again, I'm just hypothesizing. I don't know the details, but it's my opinion that's why this was conducted simultaneously at exactly the same time. Because 100% of the time, that's why we did that at the FBI. And so really, I think this is about evidence destruction. Of course, I want him in custody if there's a warrant out for his arrest. But I think the preservation of that evidence was issue number 1 for this group.
Misty, I got to believe the timing of this has to be related to those lawsuits out of all the time, because they were alleging conduct from years ago. So the fact that this is coming down now, I feel like the lawsuits, information that was gathered in there, and remember, there was, Misty, there was also information gathered, there were photographs in one of the prior lawsuits where Sean Combs is allegedly around underage girls. Tell me those lawsuits have some connection to this.
Oh, I definitely think they could be a starting point for an investigation. They wouldn't be enough to move forward with this type of warrant. And I think Tracy's 100% right. Preservation of evidence is the key. But Jesse, one of those lawsuits, the most recent, which was brought by a male, alleged conduct in 2022 and 2023. That's very recent. There's time for that evidence to be collected and to serve as the basis for this warrant. And remember, in that lawsuit, a lot of photographs for reference, videos, something that, if turned over to authorities, could absolutely lead to this result, a raid on multiple properties.
If we could put up number 3, this is actually a statement from Douglas Wigdor. This is the lawyer for Cassie Ventura, who I mentioned before, and the Jane Doe. In response to these search warrants, we will always support law enforcement when it seeks to prosecute those that have violated the law. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible for his depraved conduct. You were surprised by that, considering they settled that lawsuit, Ventura?
Well, settling the lawsuit is one thing. That's civil. Whether or not there was criminal conduct is for the criminal side, the feds now, to investigate and pursue. So I'm not surprised that the lawyer for the plaintiff would say, hey, if there's something out there, from a criminal perspective, go for it.
I'm also not surprised because if you read between the lines of those statements after the settlement, it didn't seem like she was absolving Diddy of what she accused him of doing.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.